We're good. We good.
We're good.
We're good. Ooh,
We're
I gotta
good.
step back here.
Hey, I think we're live.
We are live.
All right. We
Paul's
already have
excited to
Auburn
hear Sherlock
Elvis
Holmes.
and Paul Hicks in the chat. I think Hicks was first in the chat today. Getting that bit going.
I was gonna say, I think somebody was here.
Let me go to YouTube, and then there's gonna be like about 2 or 3 seconds of like sound that you don't want to hear. Then I'm gonna mute it, and then it's gonna be like, what noise was that? It's I'm the noise.
So in summary,
I could mute now. I could, but what fun would that be?
got to give people what they want. Hey, everybody. Welcome to
hi. Hello. Hi.
Live streaming. Yep, we're going to talk about Robin Hood, Sherlock Holmes, Spider-Man, the X-Men.
Eventually we'll talk about. Maybe not today, but
yeah,
we will talk about Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood.
We did, yeah. That's true. We've just talked about Robin Hood, didn't we?
Yeah,
we did.
Today's gonna be we all know today's Spidey and X-Men. And you guys know what? This is our 48th Doing It live stream, which means 4 years since we kicked this live streams on Sundays thing off. I want to say hello to Jim Meal, to Paul, to Auburn Elvis, already in the chat on a Super Bowl Sunday.
Paul's ahead of us, so Paul, tell us who won.
Yeah,
that's right.
Excellent.
We want to know. Should we give a little bit, couple minutes here, guys, and then because I know
waiting for Kathy.
we wait for no one. I tell you what, I guess I do need a couple minutes because I just realized I didn't have my giveaway stuff prepared. So
okay, so why you?
It's usually right here off camera. So let me just go through my stack of things.
Okay, while you go through your stack of things, let's go ahead and designate someone to take down the names.
I think we all know whose responsibility that is.
I think it's more appropriate to say whose responsibility it isn't.
Well, you just got to ask, and I'm buying for time here, so
I got a piece of paper ready.
Got to. You can start whenever.
I had work stuff on this side, and then who needs work stuff?
Work stuff.
Oh, there's Kathy. We can go now.
Yeah, we got Kathy in the chat. We got Paul. We got Jim. Hello, Jim, Paul, Auburn Elvis, Kathy. Anybody else sitting and watching? Come and join us in the chat. We will be looking for your comments. You're talking with us as we go through this recording of a live recording of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles. The last one I just edited had some stuff in it.
Oh, it had stuff?
Recording. It had stuff, yeah.
Yes, it did.
I remember that recordings.
Now. Which episode is this, Pat? What number?
This number is number 69.
Ridiculous. Look
at me, I'm Jared. I'm above these jokes.
Ridiculous.
You ain't above S, Jack. You ain't above us. It is. It's exactly how I want to be.
This is who you want to be, huh? All right. Ridiculous.
I also want to be this way.
That was abundantly clear a long time ago.
Paul, are you talking about the beards that Jared and Jason have? That some good beards are there? Yeah.
I'm all cleaned up, man. Had a haircut today, shaved, 2 bits, I guess.
2 bits.
Shaving a haircut, 2 bits.
2 bits.
Wasn't that your name in college? 2 bits?
Yep, call me 2 bits.
Baby man, Paul says.
We can start this whenever you want.
Oh, yeah. Sure. All right. Yeah, we do have a lot to talk about. I mean, these episodes go pretty long, and now that it is Super Bowl weekend, so we are the designated pre-game show before the big game. So that's why we did it. It's what, like you said, about 4 years in practice that we started doing this. So doing it live before
4 years of doing it live. Man,
I can't believe that.
Can you believe? Oh, never mind.
I can't believe it. I'm excited. 4 years.
Going live.
The I can't believe it, and I'm excited bits are back. Speaking of old bit, I have an old bit I'm going to break out for you guys later in the episode, so stay tuned for the return of an old bit.
Return of the bit.
Return of the bit.
With Mary Jane, I just can't turn that on and off.
You guys, speaking of, have you guys? I keep watching because we're watching the Super Bowl and all that. You got that. You got the guy who sings that Return of the Mac, whatever, but it's a Doritos or just a Lay's chips cover.
Who sang that? Tipping my brain. Somebody in the chat help me. Who sang Return of the Mac? Because it's
then he talks about giving a bag of chips. Now you got it on my clothes. He's got Tito saying that. Oh, that's funny.
It's gonna drive me nuts.
Help us
I can't remember.
It's and I
can't remember.
I worked in the movie theater. We always had the little music that you listen to while you're in the theater, and that's on a special disc, right? And that was one of the tracks that got played, and they'd always say, "Oh, that was so and so with Return of the Mac." Kathy says Mark Morrison.
Mark Morrison. Yep.
That doesn't sound right.
No. Jason. Yep. Jason goes. Yep.
That's what Google tells me. They never.
She's right.
Really?
She's right.
All right. I'll take it.
Mark Morrison.
Oh, come on. Oh, yeah.
He came out with other hits such as
Return of the Mac.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's the show. That's
the
it.
Mac is back.
Leaving of the Mac.
Mark Mac just hanging out.
Hanging out of the Mac.
All right.
Now it's going to bug me. Who was I confusing him with?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
That Google can't help you.
That's another level.
We need Chat GPT for this one.
Oh,
I'm trying to think of who. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, seeing we got some more people in the chat. We got Aaron Head Moss coming in, and we also have Jojo, a Real American Headcast, coming in. So Aaron's on.
Someone's trying to double his chances of winning. That's what I think is going on here. It's a good strategy, though.
Hey,
I'm supposed to be writing these names. That's right.
It doesn't violate any bylaws of which I'm aware.
For Delvin's purposes, Albert, Elvis, Paul Hicks, Jim Meal, Kathy, Aaron, and also Aaron.
Aaron times 2.
So we have some also some other people just watching along. So just want to invite you in.
Yeah, come on in.
Come on in.
Come into the chat. Say hello.
The chat is warm. We want to chat with you, make you a part of this show. So make sure you get on into the chat, whether you're watching. I see we got a few. Had somebody on Facebook. We got Twitter, YouTube. Yep.
I think those are the 3 places we broadcast.
Yeah, I think so. So come on in, get on in, and chat with us as we begin to start the recording of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles, episode 69.
Ridiculous.
We'll start recording in just a few moments, so come on in and get in. You have Michelle as well. Michael. All right. Sorry, Michael.
Michael.
I won't say any names.
He might be a new one. If so,
welcome, Michael.
Either that
welcome.
or it's another,
Aaron account.
Right. Which would then beg the question: why does he need 3 accounts?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
everybody?
He's International Man of Mystery. Wait, that's bad.
Wait. I have one for my, hearing account. I have one for my.
One for your what account?
Oh, never mind.
What?
Never mind.
Huh.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get the show going.
Yeah, with that.
Why don't we go ahead and get things going here with a lot to cover. So as we begin, we'll get the opening done and we'll get into talking about some comics along the way.
All right. I want to welcome Michael officially. He said this is the first live stream he's been able to catch.
Oh, cool.
Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you being here. And now you're on the list to maybe win something today.
Yay. Love to try. Thank you, Jared.
On this special episode, we badmouth Peter Parker until Auburn Elvis loses it in the chat.
I got some things to say about Peter Parker this last issue, but we'll save it for the right moment.
Oh, I was only kidding. I don't have that's it.
Oh, reminds me. Jared, would you mind prepping the sound file for
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So it's in the script. So the link's in the script.
I know what you're talking about. I got you. I'll
One of
work
the
on
things
that.
I forgot to do. So
as long as it allows me access to the link, we will be just fine. Boop, boop, boop.
If not, then I can do it. All right. I think we are ready. Do you have access?
It looks like it, Pat.
All right, thank you. Before we start, you get all the access. All right. I think we will get started here, guys. So with that, we'll get started. In 3, 2, 1. You're listening to Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles, episode 69. Featuring Amazing Spider-Man number 213 and X-Men number 142 from November 1980. Hello and welcome to the 69th episode of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Pat, aka DJ Christatos. Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles is a podcast that will journal the Amazing Spider-Man comic book issues read chronologically by the release date, along with another comic book from my comic book collection, either in digital, in a trade, or from the many long boxes stashed away in my basement. I just felt like Rick James there. My basement. Felt good to do that. Anyway. Each episode will provide short recaps, reviews, and ratings of this issue for the release date. The goal is to keep me actively reading through my collection and having some fun along the way, talking about them with my friends. And speaking about my friends, joining me is Jared Ulbrich, a.k.a. DJ Death Probe.
Yeah, I am DJ Death Probe on the New Year's episodes.
You are. That's right. That's right.
You're DJ Christados. Hey, man, I'm excited to be back. I did something pretty fun this week. Not a lot of people know this, but Jason went to prison, and even though no one knows him, even though no one knows it was me, hidden in shroud and mystery, I broke him out. Again, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a robot.
As he tends to do.
Yeah.
Your hair looked amazing, by the way, Jerry.
You know.
What about my mustache? My mustache was on point, wasn't
it? Not really. All right. Oops. Sorry, I'm messing some things up here.
That's all right. This gives us a chance to add Tony Pennington to the list.
Okay. Add away. Sorry.
It's the magic of editing. When this comes out officially, it'll sound so much
better. Yeah.
You know, while you're doing that, I'll just go ahead and try to add this karma count thing.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't have everything ready for me here.
Bunch of mendicants.
All right. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and move forward. And all right. Also joining me is Jason, the Weasel Skull Ulbrich. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing fine. My dog's still alive. My truck's still running, and all that jive. You know, it's been a great week, man. I scored a nice apartment, in downtown Queens, and neighbors with this cat, though. He keeps complaining about my singing. I don't know what his problem is. I mean, the guy's running in and out at all hours of the night. Has a nerve to talk about my singing. And my singing's great. They should all be glad to have me. I'm ready to do a show. Come on, Pat, let's go. Let's make this sucker rock and roll.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I can't get this guy over fast.
I think
maybe I shouldn't have broke him out.
Yeah,
I should have left him in there.
I think no more toys for Jason for Crusade Miss gifts anymore. I think we're going to get him singing lessons. At least might be better.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me his singing lessons for one of you guys to learn to sing like I can with these pipes. I don't know. A bunch of mendicants.
Anyway, why don't we go ahead and roll on to Delvin the Dark Web Williams. Delvin, how are you?
I have a bit from Spidey too. Want to hear it? Here it goes. Yeah. So I mean, look, been kind of doing this thing with Longbox Crusade for a while, but just letting you know, just a couple of doors down from me, had this hot thing called Fire and Water just pop up, so I'm just saying, if she shows a little bit more interest, I might be going with them instead of y'all, because she's got my eye, and you're just a kid.
I don't know what to say to that. Definitely, I'm hurt.
I can make a song about it.
No. We're going the song, and I'm sorry you're hurt, but I'm never letting you two in my apartment, and it was just a kiss, Pat. That's all it was.
I thought it meant something. It meant more to me, Delvin, than obviously it meant to you. And now
clearly,
I'm heartbroken.
It's okay.
But you know what, Delvin? I'll always remember my first.
Oh, it was your first?
First.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Well, bye.
Definitely. I always remember the first and this episode 69 with you.
It is definitely move on. Move on.
All right. With all that shenanigans out of the way, let's go ahead and get ready for this episode's issues to come. But before we do that, we want to.
Plenty of the issues have surfaced already.
There's a few there. Yeah, there's a few. We'll get to them soon enough. But before we do, I just want to remind you that you can also join us in having some fun along the way. We want to have you come join us and leave a voicemail that we just might play later on in the show. You can leave us a message at 707-532-5269. Again, that number is 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
Pick it up.
Now, before we start with this episode's issues, let's go ahead and take a quick podcast promo break, and we will be right back. All right.
I am very much looking forward to covering these issues.
I would laugh at that, but you're not giving our maturity any credit. So that joke sucked, Jared. How about that?
Back to the drawing board.
All right. Well, for those in the chat watching, please go ahead and join us again and hit that. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, all that in the chat or on the YouTube. We do appreciate it. It helps grow the show, and we have been growing and showing for 4 years. So, oh, I'm sorry.
Episode 69, folks.
We're a bunch of 4-year-olds for guys who are 4-year-olds. So go ahead and get ready to comment in the chat on the upcoming cover. We'll be showing that in just a little bit, and we will also be talking about it. And so we want to get your cover ratings as well, so make you a part of the show. With that, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the first featured comic for this episode, and it is Amazing Spider-Man number 213. The credits for this issue are provided by Mike's Amazing World of Comics website. Publisher was Marvel. It's got a cover date of February 1981, but its on sale date was November 11th, 1980. Cover price is 50 cents. And that'll get you into the club. Editor is Alan Milgram. Writer is Dennis O'Neil. Penciler is John Romita Jr., inker Jim Mooney, and letterer is James R. Novak, and colorists go to Bob Sharon. This is reprinted in Essential Spider-Man Volume 10, trade paperback. Also, you can find it on Marvel Masterworks Volume 283 of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 21 hardcover. And it's also on Marvel Unlimited. So we hope you come and join us and read along on this one. With that, let's go ahead and get to a quick cover description from Jared. And while he does that, I will pull this up so all can see.
Ooh, it's going to get fancy.
Ooh, everybody slide to the right.
Hey, everybody get to your side.
Slide
All right.
to the right.
All right, here we go. The Marvel Comics banner is Yellow Brick Road Yellow with black letters. Spider-Man.
I got it. Sorry.
Oh, wait, there's more.
I think we know where this is going.
I'll reveal it at the end. Spider-Man swings in his Emerald City green corner box. The Amazing Spider-Man logo is red with black highlights with the webs. The wonderful, wonderful world of webs. The main action shows Spidey swinging in to take on a large robotic spider in the foreground as is climbing up a building. Luckily, Spider-Man has the courage of a lion. The floating head of the wizard looms behind it all and proclaims, "I am the great and powerful wizard, and my spider slayer will slay you, Spider-Man." Clearly, Peter is not in Kansas anymore. Predator 2.
Thank you.
Hit on all the things. Hit on all the things with Predator 2.
Yeah, very Predator 2.
Jared, I want to thank you for that nice cover recap and your little dog too.
Not bad, Pat. Not bad at all.
Thank you. You know, there's an emerald in everything I say once in a while.
Now I'm just wishing the house would fall on you.
Yeah. I got that one too. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to some quick cover thoughts. And we will start with Delvin.
There we go. That's on my cover thoughts. All right, I'll give a little bit more. One of the saving graces of this cover would be, I don't know, that little swoop of Spider-Man coming in that makes it look more kinetic. But like the mechanical spider isn't doing much for me. And I have heard of the wizard before. Sometimes they call him the wingless wizard for whatever reason. And like, if I were just to take this book as a sample size, like the only power that I know the wizard has is saying that he is really super powerful while not really proving it. So I can't, I'm not going to like call him like a D-lister or whatever like that. But like this cover isn't super motivating to me, but we'll see what the guys have to say about it.
I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you on this one. Let's see what Jason thought.
Pretty much aligned with what Delvin said. I thought the cover is kind of middle of the road. You've got the android Spider kind of taking up most of the foreground there, which is okay. The Wizard is a character of whom I'm familiar, but don't really know too much about his power set. I'm kind of with Delvin. I don't know if he'd be considered a D-lister or a C-lister or where in that pantheon of villains he fits. To me, I like the angle. The one thing that stands out to me is the angle of the buildings. I think that kind of gives it that Spider-Man-like sense of acrobatics and that high tension to go along with what Delvin already pointed out about Spider-Man looking like he's running along the side of that building, which is kind of cool. But overall, kind of just middle of the road meh is the cover for me as well.
Yeah, I will point out, like you did, the angle of those building. Some might even say around these parts that it's a little rakish.
I was going to leave that for you to decide if it melded into rakish territory or not.
Well, we'll leave it to the artist himself to let us know that as well. Jared, is this a rakish angle or not? And tell us your thoughts on the cover.
We'll call it quasi-rakish.
Okay.
We'll call it rakish-ish. How's that? And while I'm talking about this cover, let me tell you who I feel bad for. I feel bad for $10 Al Milgrom, the inker on this one, because there's a lot.
Don't feel bad for him.
I knew something was coming. There's a lot of template work, as I mentioned before. That's like the most time consuming. Like, you should always feel bad for whoever's inking Iron Man because it's so much precision line work. You had to use a lot of templates. It takes a long time. There's a lot of template work involved on this for the buildings and the spider. And so I know we put a ton of time into it for a mediocre cover. I mean, it is what it is. I think part of the problem is that I think the Wizard just generally has a goofy look with that weird shaped helmet. Like, somebody in the chat said they thought it was a pick of some kind at some point. They figured it out. It's just, I don't know. It's not awful. It's just, it seems like a lot, especially from the inker's point of view, a lot of work for a low payoff to me. Remember, like, when we had the cover before, and that might have been Milgrom too. And I think it was remember the twins that merged, the little people that merged. And the cover that was, but Spidey was swinging down the bridge, and the bridge looked really good. It was this really great template ink work. It's like that level of effort, but not that level of payoff. So,
Jared, I don't think it's
bad.
Before we get going, I think we should point out, Jared, that Al Milgrom didn't ink it; he edited it. It's Jim Mooney, if that's what you were going for.
No, on the cover, it's Al Milgrom was the cover.
Oh, is it? Okay,
it was the cover. Yes.
I thought you said Jim Mooney.
Delvin.
I just wanted to add that villain you were looking for is Fusion, the Twin Terror.
Yeah. Oh, why? How I could forget? I don't know.
You'd have to be a wizard to forget that. I agree with you guys as well too. This one was kind of it's all right, this one, nothing really fancy on it. The thing is, it doesn't make me want to open it up and read it. Does it make anybody want to open it up and read it?
Unless you're a Wizard fan. Albert Elvis, who's in the chat, says Wizard is smart and builds things to take down the Fantastic Four. In modern books, they've made him insane, and in a creepy way, he's cloned himself a bunch to create the perfect version of himself, which probably is still lame with an enormous head. Back to you.
But there's more of him.
Yeah, we'll get into it in the story here, some of my thoughts on this, but I agree with Jared. The artwork is, the spider is all right, and Spider-Man is looking pretty good, but I think the rest of it is just, I don't know, kind of thrown together in a way. But we've seen it. It comes and it goes on these. But with that, any other thoughts from the chat that we have on any comments?
I just want to welcome Billy Dunleavy to the chat.
Hello, Billy. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get to some ratings on this cover. And before we do that, now's your time in the chat to go ahead and let us know what your thoughts are on the cover as we go through what we all think on it. As a reminder, it's a 1 through 5 rating. 5 is you loved it. It tickled your tummy feathers. 4, you really liked it. 3, liked it. 2, didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It ruffled your tummy feathers. You know what? It gave you that, briny kind of feel in your suit when you put it on, and just, it's like itchy, and it's like wearing a wool sock or a sweater, and it just, can't have that. And it smells. So let's go ahead and find out what we rate this one. And we'll start with Jason.
I'm going to have to give this one a 2. I think there's just not anything, like you said, Pat, that makes me want to pick it up and read it. I'm not familiar enough with the wizard to care that his head is on that book. The animatronic spider looks meh to me. And I guess, Spider-Man looks okay, but he's just so dwarfed by everything else. I don't know. I'm kind of between a 2 and a 3. I'll say 2 and see what you guys think.
All right. Jason has got us at a level of 2. And we'll go to Delvin. You're going to go higher, or are you going to go lower?
It didn't motivate me, but I didn't dislike it. But yeah, it's 3 level. It's 3 level, and I'm staring at Jason's 2. Like, yeah, I understand. By the way, there are a few comments in the chat about ratings, and I'm seeing like a 2.5 and a 3.5. And I just want to remind you guys, I don't know what show you think that you're on. I don't know what show. This is the Longbox Crusade, and I don't see Joe November around here, so we don't do halvesies. Just had to mention that. Okay, back to you, Pat.
Thank you, Delvin, for making sure everybody knows the rules around here. Without
I had to. I was getting hot, man. I was getting
We might have to send Laurel. We may have to send Laurel after them. They should know. We'll have to send. I'll tell her to send that policy out again.
We should,
everybody. All right, Jarrett. What's your thoughts?
It was Lord of the Flies in the chat over there with the halfsies. Someone just dropped a 3/4. Man, oh man, we are out of control. All right, so honestly, if Joe was here, as we have to preface, I probably would give it a 2.5. So you got to kind of lean. Is it?
Yeah.
Which way are you going to lean? And I'm going to have to go with Jason on this one. I think it's a 2. I think we've seen a lot better stuff. I know there's good stuff to come from Romita Jr. I know Milgram's a good anchor. I just think that the concept didn't pull together on this one. And we talked about this on G.I. Joe Chronicles. I think Delvin mentioned this earlier too. Maybe it was Jason, but like it kind of revolves. I think the difference between dropping to a 2 and going to a 3 is like how much do you like the wizard? If you're a wizard fan, yeah, by all means a 3. But I'm like, he's got a goofy helmet. It's a 2.
It's a 2. All right. So I hear what you guys are saying. I hear what the chat's saying as well too. So, as Delvin mentioned, we don't say the word halfsies unless we can around here. So what I would say, what we can say is I think it's a strong 2. We can say it's a pretty
I would agree with that.
2.
It's a strong 2.
It's a strong 2, yes.
Strong 2 for me as well. So I'm going with strong 2 on this one. It doesn't draw me in to open it up. And I like the Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man in his actiony pose there. That'd be a cool sticker to have, but that's about it. I'd put that sticker of Spider-Man in that pose, like on the back of my laptop. It'd be fun to have.
My Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, my Trapper Keeper. I like that. Ooh, a puffy Spider-Man one like that. Nice and puffy like that. Ooh. Or you know what? You can make a scratch and sniff one, and it would smell like salt watery brine and pickle. That would be fun. All right. So in the chat, we got a few 2s. People agreeing with us. 2.75. 2 and a bit from Paul. I don't know what a bit is, but I know what bits are, but
we have a lot of them.
So, fun. along the way. So thank you all for in the chat sharing what you thought. Auburn Elvis says the coloring should push it up to a 3. So
that's where I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to have to disagree. The coloring could have helped it a bit. Part of the problem is the green corner box, the yellow banner, the red letters, the blue foreground, the pink helmet, and the red and blue spider. It is too much. They needed to trim that down a bit. Now, the coloring techniques, like if he's talking about like the shadow of the spider,
the line work is great.
Nice. But as far as like just the layout, I think it didn't help.
Yeah. I think there's a big difference in what you can do simply and not. And we'll see that on the next cover we look at a little bit as well too. So, all right. Well, with that cover description and our thoughts out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the story on this one. And we will hear a story synopsis brought to you by Delvin.
We ready? Sweet. Let's get it started. The title of this issue is All They Want to Do Is Kill You, Spider-Man. The book starts with 3 to 4 pages of Claremontian dialogue, which in this case is a sign that not a ton is going to happen in this issue. I'm perfectly willing to retract this once we get to later issues, but as of right now, no lies told. A mystery person breaks the wizard out of Rikers Island, and he immediately sets his sights on Spidey by creating a huge spider with a ton of explosives, but really was an act to narrow in on the frequency Spidey uses for his Spidey sense. In order for Spider-Man to get to the point of conflict, he had to A, curb Debbie Whitman about 896 times, 2, mentally undress his new hot neighbor, and Roman numeral 3, screw up getting the brine out of his uniform, leading him with faded Spidey togs. That's not a phrase you'll hear very often. A wizard is able to track Spidey back to close to where he lives, but Spidey has a few things happen to cause plausible deniability. Uno, a looming rent strike in Spidey's building. Spidey quick left the building to perform a rescue, and dry. Wizard's device wasn't super accurate to begin with. The battle commences, and Wizard is catching a brick beating when he sees the roof of when he sets the roof of Peter Parker's building on fire. Spidey saves everyone, but neglects to see a drunk bum was still there. And as he goes to rescue said drunk bum, the roof Spidey lands on collapses. Back to you, Pat.
Delvin, thank you for that synopsis. It was very inspiring. I think I was starting to think the roof is on fire.
I saw you raising the roof, and they do need some water. They do need some water.
Okay.
They don't want to let the MF burn. Yes, that's.
Thank you again, Delvin, for that. All right, well, let's get into some bric-a-brac for this issue. And again, I want to invite our audience in joining us in the chat. Go ahead and tell us, is a first read or a reread as we go around. So, Jarrett, first read or a reread?
I think this is a first read for me. If I had it in my collection, I don't remember it. So we're going to call it a first read because I no memory of it.
I can see how this would maybe not be too memorable.
You can just forget this one.
Well, you know what? No, you know what? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Delvin, first read or reread?
First read for me, Pat.
Jason?
Keep it going. It's a first read for me as well.
Whoa. You know what that is, boys. It's a first read for me. So we have ourselves
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow.
Oh, man.
Jim Mills says it looks like that rainbow had an accident. The cover does.
Man, a reading rainbow. Now all we need is a little Glennis to show up, and we'd be having some good old times here. Wow. All right. Well, now it's time to get into some highs and lows. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get to the chat. Aaron says first read for him. Auburn Elvis says it's a reread. Paul Hicks says never read it. Good one, Paul. Good one. And Kathy has not read it as well either. With that, let's get into some high, lows, or what does. We'll go around a couple rounds. As we do, again, folks, please put your comments in the chat, and one of the guys will pick them out as we go through each round, and we'll hear what you guys have to say as well as what the LBC crew thought of this story. And we will start with Jared. Give us a high, a low, or a what the.
Well, let's give it a high since, the cover, we are a little rough on it. Let's give a high to the inside. I am intrigued as to who the mystery person is that broke the wizard out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't remember who it is. I don't know who it is. So I just know that he has a very fashionable collar, basically likes to dress like Dracula.
Yes.
Carry weapons much like maybe Reed Richards would invent. So we can only surmise that this is Dracula Richards.
And apparently can turn into a big squid or create a device that creates big squids. Big
squid. Never mind.
Why don't you call my name?
Oh, okay. I see what's going on here.
It was like a bit that linked to an old bit that linked to another bit.
Yeah.
The four of us and 2% of the audience got it.
What was the Allen's thing? Something was cold squid or something?
Damp squid.
Damp squid. It's a damp squid.
Damp squid. Yes. Delvin, high, low, or weta?
I'm going to go with a what the here. And that what the is, man, like, even though in some of the synopses that I've written, I've kind of called her plot device, Debbie Whitman, like, I thought Pete was a little mean when it came to her. Like, not only, like, he saw this beautiful woman who moved in a couple doors down. Like, I don't know who that person is, by the way. And also just, like, I don't know who the mystery villain is. So that's at least going to be a reveal coming up probably next issue. So next issue/episode. So looking forward to finding out who that is. That's good. But, like, he went on a date with Debbie thinking about old girl from the apartment. And then, like, after, like, planting one on him, like, Debbie's kind of like, hey, like, I can make you some food, in your place and hang out. And he's like, nah. Why don't you just beat it? Like, good grief. And then tried to call and was like, yeah, the water's running. I was, put it this way. If we got the karma count going on, I get the feeling Auburn Elvis is going to completely crap on Pete for that, because he was being a jerk to me. Because if he should at least declare his intentions and say, hey, I think you're a real classy girl. Like, you're real nice to hang out with, but I just want to hang out as friends. And instead, he's just letting it linger there forever. So, like, if this ends with him just getting, like, the heck slapped out of him, I wouldn't mind it.
He clearly is unfamiliar with the phrase, a bird in the hand is, I'm not going to finish that because I know how you guys are. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I have in my notes, poor Debbie. Man, has she just gotten just a runaround by Peter?
Yeah, she's gotten the short end of the stick. There's no doubt about it. And it's just like, she really likes Pete. And Pete
she's
clearly
pretty cool, too. Like,
there's nothing about her that seems bad. She's, she's pretty. She's a writer. So she's in, that's interesting as heck. It's not like Pete has anything else going on as far as whom he's dating either. So it's really surprising that he wouldn't even be willing to give it a go.
But she's going to be okay. She's going to found a snack cake company and make delicious oatmeal cream pies and Star Crunch. I'm going to keep naming these until someone gets
Nutty Bars.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, man.
That's right.
Isn't Whitman's also a candy maker, though?
Yeah, it is. It's a candy.
He's got it coming and going. First game, last game was all good.
Debbie,
she's totally nothing. She's nothing but sweet.
Oh.
Man.
Decent one, Pat. Decent one. Now we got names of little Debbie snacks popping in the chat. We got fudge rounds that just showed up. Zebra cakes.
I just picked up. I went grocery shopping. Totally off subject here, but I went grocery shopping. They make little Debbie flavors in ice cream. I picked up Nutty Bar.
I was looking for those for a long time. I finally got one at Christmas. I got the Christmas tree cake ice cream. Jason,
how's that one?
I'm the one who got it for you. I picked it up.
Man.
I picked up 2 things because I wanted some of that action too.
The only thing missing from it, Pat, is a suicide note because I
die. Yeah. Same here. Same. I got a little, so I can just take a little bit. But anyway, oh man, hey, they got Cosmic Brownie in there too. Oh man, Tony Penny can come with the Cosmic Brownie. Ooh, man. All right, well, you know our love for Little Debbie is good and strong here. So
while we have Paul Hicks in the chat, I have to know, he's making some funny jokes about flavors down under. I legit want to know if Little Debbie's cakes have made it down under. Like, is that available in Australia? Please let us know.
Good question. Definitely a good question. All right, where did we leave off here?
Welcome to Debbie's Cast.
Man, I'm about ready to go to the store and get some Debbie's.
Delvin dropped that as a what the and how he treated Little Debbie.
Yeah.
And probably Jason's turn, I think.
All right.
Which we should probably skip if we know what's good for us.
You probably should.
Yeah. All right.
But you didn't, so here I am.
All right, Jason. Give us a
right.
high, low, or what the?
Well, I'm going to give a high to the humor of Peter and his, I'm a chemistry major / professor, whatever he is now. And I know how to get this brine out of my suit. And then he fades his suit, right? That's funny. That's legit funny.
That's funny.
Him up there in his pinks. His pinks and faded blues swinging around. That's
looking like
funny.
A gender reveal swinging through the city.
And I'm gonna take this. That's funny, and it could be either way because it's pink and blue. So you still don't know. Oh man! But I'm gonna take advantage of this and promote, one of our Saturday matinee theater shows with a deep cut and say, if he would have had ad, that problem never would have happened.
Yeah.
You think?
Excellent reference.
You think, Jason? We're not fully sure it's a black and white ad.
That's true.
Yeah, but the whites on his costume would totally just shine and be perfect. Or would it maybe have bleached it then? I don't know. Be interesting to find out. Or he may have made it too sudsy. And you don't want too many suds, especially when you're trying to clean your costume up like that. Ugh, I don't like it. Well, what do we have in the chat for a few high lows or what the out there?
Auburn Elvis did the whole bit on the joke that Pete was saying to Debbie Whitman. Here's Peter's joke. The man, the dog, and the cat all sit down at the bar, and the bartender says, "What can I get you?" The dog looks squarely at the bartender and says, "I'll take a vodka." The guy will take a water, and the cat will take a scotch. The bartender looks absolutely shocked at the dog and says, "This is amazing. You're a dog that can talk." The guy looks at the bartender and says, "Don't be fooled. The cat is a ventriloquist."
All right.
Good bit. I like it.
Excellent.
I was wondering what he was saying, but wow, that's some deep research you've done there, Albert Elvis, on that one. Appreciate it. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into round 2 for this issue. We'll go back to Jared for round number 2 of high, lows, and what does.
I probably should have remembered we do 2 rounds. Let me just flip through here. You know what? Is always the easy one, right? We talked about it. It's been building over the last couple issues. John Romita Jr., he's really settling in. And it's always welcome. I'm feeling just about as good as him and Mooney here as let me clarify, just about as good as I was with Andrew and Esposito. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. Esposito!
Woo! We're getting there. We're getting there.
I know complimenting the art is an easy way out for a second round when you forgot to write something down for round 2, but we were on that roller coaster ride for a while. I think we've been relatively smooth on the JR train now for what, 3-4 issues.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel good that we have real consistency now, it feels like, and I like that. So I know it's a low-hanging fruit, but it bears mentioning that real consistency just feels good.
I would agree, and that makes it kind of interesting where we're just so used to that artwork that we're being seen right now that we tend to talk more about the story and what's going on, but because the artwork is just really in a decent place right now with it. Delvin, high, low, or what the?
Just to riff off of that, I will. So with what Jared and Pat were talking about, the creative team with Denny O'Neil on board as well, I'm willing to take this issue with a grain of salt because it may be building towards something. And they've kept a few threads going, even like the small insignificant threads like Spidey's costume having brine in it and he can't get it out and he's so poor that he only has one costume. So he had to dip it in like that solution and he left it in the solution too long. And so there's that. There is that little small continuity, which is good, but I'm sure there are other continuity with like the main villains and the people who are being featured in the book that are going to pay off in the not so distant future. So I'll give some leeway to that. Speaking to the point of the main villain in the book, which was the Wizard, I'm going to give a what the / low. And that is, why did the Wizard come after Spider-Man? As Auburn Elvis mentioned in the chats, he's a Fantastic Four villain. Was Spidey the one who put him in the clink? And if Spidey did put him in the clink, it would be nice if the editors at least said, hey, check out this issue that you can go and read about how Spidey put Wizard into Rikers Island, and Wizard is so upset about it, because I was kind of wondering, why the heck is Wizard even going after Spidey? And why is Spidey like having to go after these Fantastic Four foes, and Wizard, and Namor? So I'm just interesting, kind of a what then. I wish that the editors would have been a little bit tighter with letting us know exactly where in the continuity Spidey put Wizard into jail.
I would totally agree with you, Delvin. You hit on my two what those as well. The first one was Peter. By now, wouldn't he have 2 suits or something? You'd think. I mean, obviously, he's got some skills in sewing that he could build this and make them.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't he have another costume hanging around, or just,
Debbie would sew him up one, like in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Debbie would take care of him. And put a, what, she'd probably do it, and then in the pocket there'd be like a little snack in there for later on. With a note that says, I love you, Peter.
Some Debbie snack cakes.
I'm proud of you, Peter.
Yeah. But I'm like, man, how long has you've obviously ruined your suit before.
Oh, well, the editors.
So,
Really?
what questions?
What happened here?
I totally disappeared. I'm behind the cover, y'all. Like,
I got you.
Oh, there I am. I was like, that's not what the cover looks like. Oh, Spidey.
What happened?
I don't know.
All right. Well, sorry about that. I don't know. I didn't click anything, so my hands were up in the air like this. So
I've noticed small little things going on with StreamYard today, just little things.
Okay. Well, sorry about that, folks.
Now I believe you were talking about Peter's sewing skills, and is he good, Taylor, or is he just so?
Oh.
Oh, Jared, you got me in stitches.
No.
All right, and I want to go back to Delvin's other thing with the villain, the Wizard. My question is, who is he? And is he that tough of a foe to Spider-Man? Is this, is he all this and whatever, or what? Does anybody know?
Some sort of history, but then it couldn't be that great of a history, because we have been covering Spider-Man since 146 or whatever, and Spidey and Wizard have not faced off in the Amazing Spider-Man in the issues that we've read, which covered about 6 years. So,
Yeah, I really don't know who this guy is, and I don't know if I should have an interest at all or not.
We'll see in the next issue. That's the main thing I will say. I won't say he's not a D-lister. He has been a reoccurring foe in Fantastic Four, and I'm glad Auburn Elvis was here to remind me of that for some time. Yeah. And he's fought Spidey before too, but
yeah. Jason, high, low, or what the?
I suppose I'll wrap it up with another high. I like the action that was in this, and I get that there wasn't a big epic showdown, I guess maybe between Spider-Man and Wizard, but I liked how the art and the story all came together, how it laid out. I liked Spider-Man rescuing the folks on the other building, using his resourcefulness along with his spider strength to pull off the fire escape and use it as a bridge to get people to safety, while at the same time using his webbing to make like a protective shield to protect him from the flames, and using it as kind of a whip to just lay some bricks down on the Wizard. So, the action sequences were just really well constructed, designed, and laid out, and just really well executed, I thought. Even if the battle itself wasn't like an epic battle, I thought it was still pretty good and entertaining.
I would agree with you on that. The inside of this issue, the story and the art are way better than what we have on the cover. Totally different. So I'm glad I read it. Just the character moments that are going on in here as well too. Again, the layering of things to come or things that have passed, whatever, the story weaving that is going on here. I'm really liking that as this part of Spider-Man. I like those layers, and we're seeing it slowly come forward. We've had that in the past. Now we're getting it again with Denny doing it here as well too. And just that buildup, it took him like 3 issues of him complaining about his briny suit, So when I saw, like, oh yeah, how is he going to come and get that out? And then to see what happens with his, he's a chemical guy and he just kind of messes it all up. Just really interesting, the story writing that is going on this one. Any thoughts from the chat on this one?
They've been chatting back and forth. There's one very good comment by a Real American Headcast that says they had some history, I'm assuming the Wizard and Spidey, back in the Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 4. So there's that. I never read Amazing Spidey Annual 4. I don't know if any of you gents have. So yeah, that would have been interesting. It would have been a good note for the editors to put that in. So yeah, that one's on Mr. Milgram there, who is the editor at present. He should have at least made mention to that. Auburn Elvis chimes in, by the way. Last time I can find Spidey versus the Wizard is in a Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 42 and Fantastic Four 218 crossover. The Frightful Four capture Spider-Man and break into the Baxter building. So, yeah.
All right. I appreciate all that in the chat. Before we go on forward, does anybody have any other high, lows, or what this for this issue you want to get out? Nope. I think we covered it pretty well. All right. With that, let's go ahead and get into the silly Spidey for this issue. Jason, what's your silly Spidey in this?
I think I tipped my hand in the comment when I thought it was funny with Spider-Man fading his uniform and having to go out on patrol in his pinks and baby blues.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was a funny one as well, too. Jared, what's your silly Spidey?
Same as Jason. Pinks and baby blues.
Pinks and baby blues. Delvin, what's your silly Spidey?
not quite silly, but somewhat funny to me that, you know, Wizard was talking mad S. I mean, he got broken out of the jail and was like, you know, don't forget, I'm the Wizard. I'm super powerful. You can't mess with me. Arf, arf, arf. And then he faces off against Spidey and then has a device that didn't quite work. And then, like, he thought he blasted Spidey and wound up getting hit in the face like a bunch of bricks. So I thought that was just funny to me. Just like, yeah, not so powerful now, you know, tasting the best of New York masonry. There are you there, Pop. So, yeah, I thought that was a little bit funny. What about you, Pat?
Well, I like the part where there's two parts I like is the country singer part, and Peter's just kind of calling him kind of different descriptions of the country singer that I found were kind of hilarious as well too. And then in the beginning, when the mysterious guy made the squid appear, the guard, they're swimming and he's saying something about a cheese monster or something like that. I thought was kind of funny as well too. So all in all, I think this one a little more character development here and more focusing on the story than there was some, really good parts in that. With that, let's go ahead and get into the story ratings for this issue. And we want to get some involvement from the chat as well too. So let us know what you thought of the story or Delvin's story synopsis with that. As a reminder, it is a 1 through 5 rating. 5 is you loved it. It tickled your tummy feathers. 4, you really liked it. 3, liked it. 2, didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It ruffled your tummy feathers and you got that brine again all over you, all stuck in your feathers. Ooh, you can't get it off. Don't like that. Delvin, 1 through 5.
We're in the middle. It was a 3. I didn't think it was bad at all. Wizard sold, Mad Wolf tickets about how awesome he was, and he really was not. But it looks like the threat of that isn't over, and whomever the second guy is, that at least is leading to a mystery of who the heck this guy is, why the heck he broke Wizard out in the first place, and what their deal is with Spidey. Because you remember the title of the book, right? It's like, well, all they want to do is kill you, Spidey. So it's like, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm interested, and I'm glad that there is a steady creative team on, just like Jared mentioned.
Speaking about Jared, 1 through 5.
I'm riding it at a 3, Pat. Just it's going along to get along. So yeah, just a 3 for me.
All right, Jason.
We'll keep the 3 train rolling. There's a lot to like in the book, even if it wasn't what we would consider an epic tale. I'm really interested a little bit in Debbie Whitman. My knowledge of Spider-Man and his love interest really is, Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane. Those are kind of the big ones that I know about. Yeah.
She seems to be not a lot of people talk about her.
Right. So this is kind of new for me. And like Delvin, I wasn't really thrilled with the way Peter was treating her, but at the same time, it kind of makes him an interesting character. He's got some flaws, and yet we see his heroic side by the end of the book as well. So all in all, entertaining. So 3 for me.
Well, boy, I'm tossed, and I can't do halvesies, so I'm going to give it a strong 3 because I really liked the character development that was going on here in this one. I was really interested. I was turning the pages. Yeah, the Wizard, okay, villain, I guess, made me wonder what made him so special and how he was claiming to be really tough and for Spider-Man, which, is he really that tough for Spider-Man? Probably not. But I think just the character development that is going on in this issue helps me keep reading along and wanting more to find out what's going on. Who is this mysterious guy? Is he just picked up another guy so he can go, oh, well, you can take care of him and wear him out, and then I'm going to go ahead and take over? I don't know. I'm interested to find out, though. With that, we have in the chat, I see a variety of ones.
Pat?
Yes.
You're forgetting something.
Oh,
come and
I am
knock on the
bringing
door.
Come and knock on the door.
We'll be waiting. I mean, come on! Like we can't be forgetting these things here.
I totally, yeah, you're right. I totally forgot. I was not on the. Oh man, my mind is somewhere else at this moment. Trying to forget this one. No, I'm not. I really liked it. All right. Well, with that, we have some threes, some 3.5s in there.
Albert Elvis liked it to a tune of a 4.
Wow. And some ones over a 5. So with that, let's go ahead and get into a newer segment we have added to this show, and that is Karma Count with Albert and Elvis. Let's see what he gives Spider-Man for this, how many points he gives, and if he takes some points off.
I'd be shocked if Peter's not losing some points for his treatment of Debbie, but
we'll find out.
We're gonna hope to find out, because Elvis made a joke earlier about he's worried about getting the sound clip to play, and he's not wrong, because like I said, StreamYard's acting a little weird. Like every time we bring up a banner or whatever, it's kind of doing a little glitchy. Anyway, here's hoping. I'm gonna try this out. And the very first thing that popped up when I clicked play is that there's a problem with this audio file. So we are off to the races here, people. Yes, it might have been because I left it up on pause for long. Let me just refresh that. I just had this burning feeling. I was like, nope, today ain't the day.
Not today.
This ain't gonna work right. It ain't working right. Let's see. All right, let me refresh and see if it'll go.
There it goes.
I guess I'm your karma.
Love to speak.
And I love it. I can't get enough of it. There's nothing above it.
Hello, Crusaders. This is fan of the show, Auburn Elvis. Now, occasionally, the Longbox guys will wonder if superheroes can improve their strength by working out. Well, according to the 1984 Marvel superhero role-playing game, they can, but it takes a while. In the game, heroes gain and lose karma points for how heroic their actions are. Karma can be saved up over time and spent to improve a hero's ability scores. For example, if Spider-Man wanted to improve his strength of 40 to a 41, it would cost him 400 karma points. And to give you an idea of how long it would take to earn that much karma, let's do a karma count of Spidey's actions in this issue. Amazing Spider-Man 213 starts with Peter going gaga for a new girl in the apartment complex. Now, the game encourages fun role-playing, so if you were in my game and you had Peter do the pose that's shown in the issue, I am absolutely going to give you 10 karma for that. Moving on, Peter tells Deb a funny joke for 5 karma, and he gets another 5 karma for reaching the end of a date without abandoning her. I'm not even going to take off for the way it ended because Deb's self-esteem is so low by now, that was probably a good ending for her. Now we get into some action. Spider-Man defeats a pretty low-grade Spider Slayer for 30 karma, gains 100 karma for rescuing a group of people in the subway, and another 5 for taking pictures of it for the Bugle. At the end of the issue, he loses 5 karma for missing the tenant meeting like he promised, and he loses 10 more karma for the property destruction of the fight and the fire. Then, right before the issue ends, Spidey gets another 100 karma for rescuing another group of people. I think we're seeing how you can min-max your karma in the game. Rescue large groups of people. So, counting everything up, Spider-Man earns a total of 240 karma in this issue. Wow! If Spidey did that 2 times, he'd have enough karma to improve his strength from a 40 to a 41. I'm Auburn Elvis. Thank you very much for listening to this karma count. Now back to the Crusade.
I guess I'm your karma. And I love it. I can't get enough of it. There's nothing above it.
All right. Thank you, Albert and Elvis. We can always count on you for getting us straightened out on how much points Spider-Man would get. Man, was hoping for some taking off of some of the, but I guess we didn't.
Well, it's because Auburn Elvis's opinion of Debbie Whitman isn't super high. That was the reason. It's like, I mean, it was like she should be glad that she even got a date. So yeah, so I understand where he's coming from with how he did his karma count.
Yeah, you got to give it to Peter for sticking it through and doing what he did. All right. Well, with that, that's going to bring this part of the show to an end. You got a comment or a question? Send us an email at contact@longboxcrusade.com or make a comment on the Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook page. You can also leave us a voicemail that we will play later on in the show. Leave us a message at 707-532-5269. Again, that's 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
We will be right back.
Yeah, I want to welcome Ryan Daly to the chat. And Paul Hicks
Hey.
took his leave because Ryan Daly's in the chat. So that feud continues.
Man, I wish those two would just get along. It's like, come on, we love you both.
Yeah, I like one more than the other.
What would Orsted say?
Orsted, man. Hey, man, if me and my brother can get along, why can't everybody else? No, we kid, because we love you both. All right. Let's go ahead and get going here. All right. You guys ready? Need to take a break. We got everybody in the chat who's in the chat on the list.
Devin looks like he's working hard on that list. Or Homescapes.
Not that you can see my writing from here, but Ryan Daly is already on the list.
He's on the list. So that's right, folks. So before we get started again,
you weren't playing Homescapes. You just showed us the list.
I was thinking it's a little column A, little column B.
I can multitask.
Beep, 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 beep. All right. Well, for those of you watching, please make sure you get in the chat to get you a chance to win later on at the end of the show, where we give away some raffle-y stuff to do, and also to our Crusader Club members. With that, let's go ahead and get back to the show. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the second featured comic for this episode, which is determined by our Crusader Club members. Club members get to vote on this segment using the online poll only available on the Longbox Crusade page at patreon.com. As always, we want to thank our Crusader Club members for voting to help determining the programming of this show. If you want to get in on the voting and all the other amazing benefits of being a Crusaders Club member, just head on over to patreon.com and search for Longbox Crusade. There you can join us for as little as $1 per month and help determine what each episode's second feature will be. For this episode, the Crusader Club members selected X-Men number 142. The credits for this issue are provided by Mike's Amazing World of Comics. And before we go any further, let me do this. Hide that. There we go. And we'll get the other one ready. So, publisher was Marvel. Got a cover date of February 1981. Its cover price was 50 cents. Editor is Luis Simon. Writer is Chris S. Claremont.
Esquire. Everybody else is on mute.
And Simon's son. Simon's son.
Yes, thank you. Plotter is John L. Byrne, or plotter and pencils go to John L. Byrne, inker Terry Austin, letterer Tom Orzakowski, and the color me bad colorist is Glennis Ween. Woo! Man, we're getting them all today. Love it. This is reprinted in lots of places, so bear with me as I go through them. Uncanny X-Men in Days of Future Past, number 1. Greatest Battles of X-Men, trade paperback. The Essential X-Men, volume 2, trade paperback. Marvel Collectible Classic X-Men #2, X-Men Days of Future Past trade paperback, the Marvel Masterworks Volume 90 of Uncanny X-Men Volume 6 hardcover, and Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 2. This is also in X-Men Epic Collection, The Fate of the Phoenix trade paperback. Cover credits go to Terry Austin as the artist on this one. And speaking about the cover, Jared, give us a cover description.
All right, Pat. I promised you we'd bring back an old bit. So I'm going to have to ask you to get out your shamisen, which is, if you're not sure, if you don't remember, it's your Japanese guitar. Because I did it in haiku format. It's been a long time.
Yes.
Since we did the haiku. So
It's
please,
long
a little shamisen, if you would, please, sir. Marvel Comics Group, banner, letters, yellow, red. Corner box is peach. X-Men logo, white. Red highlights with uncanny. Now 4 main action. Sentinel winning. Wolverine blasted away. Storm crushed by his grip. Cover blurb tells us, in this issue, everybody dies. Word, word.
You need it.
Right.
Another syllable.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for bringing that back. That
I felt like it was time to bring back the haiku description.
I love it,
Pat.
Even though I still don't get it. I
was gonna say, Pat, do you know what a haiku is?
No, words.
We've explained it. 575. He's never gonna get it.
I can't talk right and read things correctly. You think I'm gonna get a haiku? I mean, haiku. I thought it was something like, I thought it was a mix of like High C and Kool-Aid they were gonna give me, but
I hate myself for laughing at that.
No, you don't.
I don't like it.
Show me the love.
Word.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to some quick cover thoughts on this one. And we will start with Jason. What's your thoughts on the cover?
This one's iconic to me. It's one that's just really tickles my brain, and it makes me want to open it up and read it again and again. The Sentinel, of course, is menacing, made even more menacing just by that lack of emotion on his face as he's blasting away Wolverine in the foreground. You can see Wolverine literally disintegrating under the blast. And of course, Storm just being held helplessly in that other hand. It really just encapsulates everything that's going on in the book. It gives that sense of desperation and makes you want to read it.
Yeah, this is an interesting cover for me. The background, not much on the background. That green looks, it's all right. But I think what really takes me and keeps my eye is just Wolverine right there, just kind of being torn to shreds like that. Great ink work that is being done there. And, this is just Terry Austin. We don't even have Byrne helping him on the cover. So pretty decent looking cover. And I think the simplicity of just the no background like that kind of helps with it. Delvin, what's your thoughts?
Definitely surprised that Byrne isn't on it, but looks like Austin wanted to draw a cover. And the action of the forefront of Wolverine getting flash fried there, I mean, that's some very shocking looking action. So that's cool. It looks like Storm, like if you look at it the wrong way, it looks like Storm has wooden arms. Is it just me? It's not just
and
me,
legs.
right?
And legs. It looks like he's holding a Storm doll.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding a Storm doll, but it definitely looks like he is blasting Wolverine to Kingdom freaking come there. So there's that. And I think it's cool when people other than the main artist get a chance at the book. And if by whatever reason Byrne just needed a break, Byrne deserves a freaking break from about 3-4 years now of just ridiculous excellence on this book. So if he
burned out,
right, if he needed a break from this cover, then fine, but I do like it, and the action up front is definitely eye-catching. I'm not a fan of the everybody dies thing. It's like, no, they're not. Everybody isn't gonna die, so why even mention something like that? At this point, the X-Men are established enough that you don't need that as a teaser for anyone opening the book. And heck, I mean, just the action of the Sentinel blasting Wolverine, to me, that's enough of a sell.
Yeah. Now, when you say on Storm with her arms like that, are you seeing that there's that pole or whatever that's kind of stuck in her back there, right?
But why?
Well, because that's how she died.
Oh, yeah.
In the comic.
But what if you didn't know that reading the book? You had to read the book to do that.
I wouldn't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. Jason or Jared.
The emotions are seriously mixed on this cover, gentlemen. Because I know Terry Austin can draw. Not only is he a great inker, but he's a good penciler. And he's proved it here. Mainly with the Wolverine thing. The Storm pose is a miss. The Sentinel is decent. The Wolverine is really good. And so I'm glad that he got a chance to flex a little bit. And spoiler alert, he's going to draw the next cover as well. So I'm thinking Byrne is probably putting all of his energies into the interiors at this point and asking Austin to help pick up a little bit on the covers. I'm glad Austin gets some time to shine because, like I said, I know he's a good artist, and look no further than that Wolverine is proof of that. But then in the grander scheme of things, this is one of those things that we only know through retrospect, right? Like, this is, as I understand, or at least it felt like, the conclusion of Days of Future Past, which is pretty important. On a book of this importance, I need John Byrne on the cover. I love Terry Austin, but I'm of mixed feelings on it. Now, just artistically, as far as it goes, like I said, the foreground stuff is great. The Storm is a miss. Background, there's not one. They went with a green. That's not bad. The purple pops pretty nice off of it. Purple's most complementary color is yellow, which they used in the shading, so they kind of had to use something else in the background. And I'm not as upset as Delvin as that everybody dies, because they do in plotline B that may never come to pass.
True.
But it does have that very gimmicky, they threw that out of maybe too many covers, right? So I do get where Delvin's coming from. So very mixed emotions. Happy for Austin. Wish it was a Byrne for such an important book. We'll see.
All right. I think I kind of agree with you on there, what we're seeing.
I just saw something in the chat, and I hate it when I have to say this, but I also have to agree with Auburn Elvis, which is, I don't like to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's right. You could have removed the entire hand with Storm and had it only been the Sentinel frying Wolverine, and it would have been a better cover. Austin overcomplicated it. That is an excellent take, Auburn Elvis. Write it down. Mark your calendar, AE.
Ooh. I think whenever I see the Sentinel, I always see some menace or just fear. They're a powerful being or powerful thing that go against the X-Men. So I'm always interested to see that. Just, man, that big figure like that is really cool.
I want an extra comment too, that it's a weird connection, but this is a classic cover. So like, even if you're not a big X-Men person like me, like, this cover, right? When you see it, it. And I've always thought it made me feel like the cover of the Queen album News of the World. And it's funny because I think Kathy mentioned that exact thing in the chat. What a weird brain connection. I wonder, is there more people that always thought that? Like, I always thought that was just in my brain, but it's neat to see Kathy say it. I wonder, Jason, did you ever kind of feel like it's News of the Worldy?
Now that you bring it up, I do. Yeah, I can definitely see it.
I asked Jason because he's our resident Queen fan.
Yes.
Jason is to Queen what Jared is to Prince, if this was like an SAT.
I actually have a T-shirt that's based off of that News of the World, but with Ultron as the robot and the Avengers as the band.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Any other comments in the chat before we move forward? Nope. All right. All right. For the chat, we'll go ahead and start rating this cover along with us. We'll go ahead and get to the cover rating. As a reminder, it is a 1 through 5 cover rating system here. 5 is you loved it. It gave you a ring to swing from. 4, you really liked it. 3, liked it. 2, didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It turned you into a baby. Jared, 1 through 5.
Man, he put me in a tough spot.
Start us off here.
All right, something Joe November 3.5. Okay.
You mean like words?
Yeah, words. When you need a couple extra syllables, you just don't have 3.5. So now I have to decide, am I going to roll it back to the 3 or bump it up to the 4? And this is tough because of what I talked about in my cover description. Inkers don't get a lot of time to shine. This is a super important book with a memorable cover. I'll give them the 4.
Okay.
I'll give them the 4
I see.
because this is Terry Austin's moment. I have to agree with Auburn Elvis. Get rid of that second hand altogether, and you've got a better cover.
Yeah,
but I'll give him the 4 because he's out there stepping up. Like I say, he's going to be on the next cover too. So clearly, Byrne needs a break, and I think Austin did the best he could do, and it ain't bad.
All right, Jason, 1 through 5.
You know, it was tough going first on this one because my nostalgia factor was burning really hard. Yeah, so I came out here ready to throw a 5 down on the pile coming out of the gate. I'm really glad that I got to listen to all of your perspectives. You taught me a lot, and I happen to have, I know this is a podcast format, but I've got our last one that we did too.
Yep.
And so, which we did give a 5. I think all of us gave a 5, if I recall. And just, you know, I started looking at the details of what makes it different. This is a really good book, this one that we're talking about now, number 142. But when I look at the one that Byrne did and how the Uncanny X-Men is distressed with the cracks in it, that's really cool. And basically, they've done the same thing with this issue, Everybody Dies, which is on the front of this comic. They said the same thing, though, basically, just in a more artistic way here by having all the deceased, apprehended pictures in the back.
Apprehended.
Yeah, right. So
call back to the bit from last time.
So you know, so I definitely do see the flaws and imperfections. I also think Terry, maybe being an interior inker, is used to trying to say, okay, I've got to have it reflect the story. That pole in Storm's back, I honestly didn't even notice it till Pat brought it up, and doesn't need to be there. Auburn Elvis is also correct. The whole storm doesn't need to be there. So I'm going to bring it down. Let's bring this to a landing. I'm coming down from a 5 to a 4 for all of those reasons. Still a great comic, but it really looks like Terry Austin spent like 2 weeks on Wolverine and then realized, oh, this is due tomorrow. Cranked out the rest of it.
Yeah.
Delvin.
I tend to lean towards Jared and how he rated it and why he rated it what he did. And looking at some of the ratings from the comment section, some gave it a 3, some said 4. And matter of fact, I'm pretty much right with what Jim Neal said when he said this is a 4 based on its iconic status. And that's why I'm giving it a 4, because it is a very recognizable cover. And so very recognizable cover plus an inker did the cover plus the storyline is enough to give it up to a 4. And Ryan Daly actually added, because a lot of people are saying if you leave Storm out of it, she's like, y'all want less Storm on the cover? I mean, hold on.
It does feel weird.
Yeah, I know. It does. Like in this case, yes, having the main action focus on Wolverine would have been an absolute selling point. And heck, you know, you ask me, you know, that minus Storm, minus Everyone Dies, that I mean, that's saying that action alone should be reason enough for you want to pick up the book. Like, oh my God, this happened to Wolverine. So yeah, all that said, we're talking about a classic, right? In 40 years in hindsight. So I got to remember that too. It's a good cover, and we can't, and I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that at all. It's a 4.
All right. I do, like you said, we see Elburn Elvis in the chat with a 3, Kathy with a 4.75, 4.75. Kathy, come on. You're on the crew. You know the rules.
Chaos, Pat. There's chaos in the
yes.
chat.
We got Paul with the 4, Michael with a 4. So who am I to not go with the train here? So boom, 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 boom,
Laka, boom, 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 laka, boom,
boom, boom. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody's gonna rate this a 4. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. With that, let's go ahead and get to a story synopsis for this issue, brought to you by Jason.
You stop yourself from saying short. I heard you, Pat.
Short? Yes.
I kept it pretty short, I thought.
I am timing you.
Let me clear my throat. This issue is titled Mind Out of Time. In the exciting conclusion to the Days of Future Past story arc, we open to find the X-Men squaring off against the new Brotherhood of Mutants led by Mystique. Battling within the Washington Senate in a desperate attempt to save the life of mutant hater Senator Kelly, Storm finds that her first test of leadership is yielding some iffy results. Meanwhile, in the future, Storm, Wolverine, and Colossus mount a desperate last-ditch effort to destroy the Sentinels' base of operations at the Baxter Building. Despite their heroic efforts, the team fails and the X-Men of the future are wiped out. All hope resides with what happens in the past. In her current-day battle, Storm manages to rally the troops and defeat the Brotherhood, while Kate Pryde manages to save the Senator. With history altered, Kate and Kitty return to their correct timelines, and the day appears to be saved. But is it? Only time will tell.
Thank you, Jason, for that story synopsis. And as we begin to go through the bric-a-brac, those in the chat, please chime in along, and I will ask the guys to kind of, as you see something in the chat, let's go ahead and present it as you can. With that, let's go ahead and get to the bric-a-brac for this issue. I think I already know how it's going, but anyway, let's go ahead and start with Jason. First read or a reread?
It's a reread for me, so if I'm going to break hearts, let's do it early.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's right there. Let's set that bar right there. Jared, first read or a reread?
It's a reread for me too.
Oh,
Pat.
ooh.
It's not.
Okay.
I just wanted Jason to feel better.
What?
I was worse than it up. I'm trying to take care of my bro.
Finally got through to him. After all those years of that Gru crap just lying around the house, he finally read X-Men.
I was more standing up. I was trying to help out my bro.
I hear you. Delvin, reread or first read or reread?
It was a first read for me. I had not read this story issue singularly.
Very good. It is a first read for me as well. So 3 out of 4, as Meatloaf would say. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty effing bad right now. We can't sing the song. So what does Meatloaf know?
He knows he wants us. He needs us. But there ain't no way
he's ever going to love us.
Don't encourage Jason to sing.
I was going to say, I can do a song.
Don't feel bad.
4 years of these live streams, he's still dangling the Jason carrots out there.
What's
He
got a couple
me and I must respond.
We got a couple of people that have it as a reread. For Kathy, it's a no read for her. So she got that going for her. We'll get you one, Kathy, to read. All right. With that, let's go ahead and get to some high, lows, or what does for this issue. And let's start with Delvin. High, low, or what the?
I wasn't here for last issue, 141, and I wish that I had 141 in my collection, which I do not. Of course, there are other ways to read it, and I should go back to read it. I'm coming in on part 2 of 2 here. And what I'm about to say might be a little bit controversial. I feel like I might be injected with the yard sale artist virus here, but why was that future storyline in this issue necessary?
Words.
What do you mean? I guess, what do you mean?
Well, I understand the premise of the storyline. The premise of the storyline is brilliant. That Kitty Pryde of 2013 has to go back into the past in 1980 to potentially avert a disaster. So awesome. That's where the storyline is. Present day, 1980. Why do I care that the X-Men died in 2013?
Because they died for their cause, Delvin.
Yeah, I think that the whole point was just they were so desperate they sent.
Nope, get that. Back. I get that.
Well, they're not just going to sit down and wait and hope for the best. They're still going to go down fighting, and that's what. But
why do I care? That's what I'm saying. Why do I care that they died? I don't. Because that was 33 years in the future, and that storyline has nothing to do with what the X-Men are doing right now. Especially since Kitty came from that future to change it, I didn't care.
Okay.
And it struck me. It really did. I was like, I got through the book and I put it down and I was like, it seemed like they only introduced. I mean, the introduction of the storyline in the future, cool, totally get it. It was awesome. That they continued and had them die snuff film style, that I was kind of like, that was gratuitous, and I just didn't agree with it. I was amazed by it. I put the book down and I was like, am I Jarrett now?
Welcome to the show.
That's like Johanna. I was.
Where's my chicken?
Now, if I may, I think I can put a pin in what Delvin's saying. The big problem with it is we didn't get to see 1980 actions pay off in the future. In fact, we saw the opposite. So, like, I think if there was some sort of payoff to where we could have seen something that bad, like, change and go good, it would have felt more fulfilling. But otherwise, it was like, well, they're dead.
But, I guess it's that timey stuff that's happening because in the heat of the battle, you see them as their life, that time is still happening and still going on for them because they don't know, did Kitty do it or not? Right?
Spoiler,
did she succeed?
She did it.
Well, even though she succeeded in that moment, what is the outcome? We still don't know.
We do not know.
And
we do not know.
And we're going to see more of this storyline. And even though they may have affected it now and altered it somewhat, like how much did it alter? Is it now this utopia in the future? We don't know. All we do know is if she failed, they die at the end, and that's game over, right? And there's, spoiler alert, there's more to come, like we talked about with Rachel Summers in the future. Mm-hmm. And, and so there's going to be more of this type of story. And we'll see more when Cable and Bishop and more time traveling type of hijinks that occur. So, there was to me, there was a real purpose. We can just agree to disagree on that.
Well, maybe that's a good question, we learn more, as Jason is clearly read more, it'll make more sense. But as of a reader read it in 1980, it was cool looking.
Jarrett, you have any other thoughts on it?
I do, Pat, and thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
And I don't know if y'all can see this podcast. Look how many words are on this 2-page spread. Claremont, get your word count out of control, bro.
You only had 2 issues to tell the story.
Oh my goodness. But like he used like a whole bunch, just like recap what happened last time. And granted, last time, you kind of need to know what happened, but man, he could have done that in a smoother. Anyways, it's not an episode if I don't bag on Claremont's word count. But it's really good. It's a good story. I'm going to give it a good score. Don't you guys worry. The thing I want to bring up most of all is, as I showed you, for those of you who could see during the live stream, in the podcast format, you can't see it. I read it out of the X-Men, the Essential X-Men, the black and white ones from back in the day, which was, I think, a Wednesday. I don't remember when they made these. You probably said it earlier, Pat, in the where it's reprinted, but doesn't matter. What does matter is that they are in black and white, right? So I got to really look at Terry Austin's ink work, and we're always going on and on about burn Austin looks so great. Well, this was like a very Austin centric issue because you got the cover, frankly, which I think looks better in black and white than it does in color. And then I got to really see his ink work through the whole thing. And man, that dude is a dang genius. I mean, Byrne lays down amazing pencils, right? That's a given. But it was really cool to go through it and read it in black and white and just look at the ink work. So this is my shout out to Austin episode. It's gorgeous and wonderful. So there you go. Hi for Jared.
Yeah, definitely. I will chime in my part on this one is as you're talking about the artwork in this and the pencils and the layouts in this one. I really liked the subtle thing they did with this when they did go to the future. You had a thicker border around those panels. It was a little thicker black border around all those panels. So it really felt like they were trying to, separate the difference in there and it was happening. And that caught my eye.
I'm like, eye, Pat.
Yeah, I see. You rub off on me. I learned a little something.
I do rub off on you.
Sometimes the wrong way.
It's episode 69, everybody.
Anyway, Jason, do you have more to add on a high-low or what?
I sure do. There's so much is packed into here. Seeds that I know are going to pay off. But one of the things that I really loved was this is Storm's first field combat experience as leader of the X-Men. And we start to see her coming into her own a little bit here. I liked her putting Wolverine in his place a little bit. And I liked her making that decision to take that fight outside where she could use her powers and really start to change the sway of the battle. This is tough for her. I mean, Cyclops has been leading this team since its inception. And now she's in charge and she's going to do it her way. And we're starting to see that here. And I really appreciated that.
That was an excellent dynamic. And Wolverine was about to catch some hands for me, like talking to Storm like that. We already discussed that a few years ago. He's got to watch that tone. That's all I'm saying. I'm about to get Wendigo back and have Wendigo smack him upside some trees or something like that. You don't talk to Storm that way.
I thought it, as Jason said, though, she definitely held her own on that one. I was like, oh boy, how is she going to make him back down? And, she cleverly thought it through and explained to him why and what. She's like, you're powerful enough just without those. You can go take this on and, you don't have to do this that way.
Oh, let me jump in. I love Storm. Mohawk leader Storm is one of my favorites. And I think from a leadership, I don't know if you know that's why I used to teach leadership. I did, from a leadership point of view, I did like the way she gave him the explanation. I do think that she has a victim of terrible, terrible timing. It's like this is one of the toughest fights we're ever going to have. And oh, by the way, it's for the future of everything. Let me handicap the team by telling Wolverine, no pokey. F that S. Slice and dice, Wolverine. We got to win this one. It's just like, it's like clearly Claremont wrote it so she could have a leadership moment, which I agree with, but it's such bad timing. Like, it would have played much better if it was in a fight that wasn't as important as this one. Because I gotta be honest with you, from a leadership point of view, I'm letting Wolverine do what he needs to do in this battle.
Yeah.
If I know what's at stake, come on now. Come on.
I think, though, to play devil's advocate a little bit, I think she was doing a little bit of leadership. She's thinking 2 moves ahead. She's thinking, we're outside here. He starts eviscerating fools with those claws, then we're just proving the point.
It's a terrible optic. Terrible optic. Hey, Blob, I'm gonna slice some bologna off you, son. Slice.
And she's right. I mean, in the end, he didn't need his claws. He didn't need his claws to take those threats down.
I agree with the reasoning. I get it. But still, I'm just like, this is for the future of everything.
It would have been a better conversation to have, like, in the plane on the way.
Yes.
There.
Like, okay, everybody keep your cool. Looking at you, Logan.
Yeah.
I think it was a cop-out, so we didn't have to see what happens when Logan slices up the blob, because I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I kind of did want to see that.
I think you could argue that her taking the fight outside wasn't a good decision either. Because
more eyes on them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
more eyes on them. So like she had smart reasons for doing what she did, but like, man, like Claremont didn't make it easy for Aurora Monroe. Like, hey, this is your first leadership assignment ever. If you fail this, like, all mutants die. Good luck.
Good luck, sweet cheeks. The hell?
Cyclops! Get back here!
Yeah, we're Cyclops. Something's got to be going on that is like, this has got to be on the news. People are, doing something. And wouldn't he be able to just come and help them out wherever he was, or too far away? I don't know.
He's halfway down a bottle of Jameson, still drowning his sorrows over a storm, or out of Phoenix,
Gene.
I think. Yeah. Gene.
Could be. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into round 2. Delvin.
There's a lot of things we can discuss, like tons, which shows you what a good issue that it was. The battle in present day was fantastic, and it was high pitched, and there was a lot of drama there, and there's a whole bunch of things I could say. But I'm going to quickly say this is like, yeah, I get it. I do understand the point of the X-Men having to save Senator Kelly. That said,
it's got to be painful.
Well, it was like, oh no, oops, I messed up. He died. Oh no. I was like, we tried. Y'all saw that, right? The cameras are on. We tried to save him. We just couldn't. We just weren't good at it. Oh, the bigot died. Oh, but a scene that I will pick out the battle that was really, really cool was they kept mentioning how the blob was like, I can't be moved unless I want to be moved. I'm the blob. And like, so they found an ingenious way of moving them, of getting that, getting that fulcrum under them, and like in Pete having Wolverine sit there, and pushing him up and launch him in the air and just whack, knocking the crap out of him. That was awesome. That was a fantastic moment in a very, very, very pitched battle.
Yeah, definitely. The battles were really interesting on this one, and just their teamwork. You can just see the team gelling together like that to figure things out.
So satisfying to see Colossus hit that.
Yeah.
Just whap! As Blob's coming down. That was great.
Jarrett, high, low, or what for this round?
Oh, man. Like you said, there's a lot to talk about. I got a couple. I got to pick. I'll go with important moment. I think even the X-Men somewhat novice that I am, I picked up on this is maybe the first time that we've planted the seed that there is a connection between Mystique and Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
And I thought, oh, okay. Yeah, I know enough about X-Men to know that there is. And I'm like, I think we're seeing the first time that came up.
You know what the secret is, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what the connection is.
Okay.
I know enough about X-Men to know what it is.
She kind of,
I just thought it was neat that I'm like, wow, if you're reading this in 1980, like this is where the seed is planted. Whoop.
Yep. And she kind of says something.
Yep.
In this too, where it's, I don't know, it's like a wordy word thing, I guess, is what she said.
I mean, yeah, we could shorten it. She was like, "Why don't you talk to your mama and ask her what she knows?"
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't have to go far, would you?
You taking this whipping from your own mama? Whack, 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 whack. I brought you into this world. I can take you out.
Which is oddly even more is that, because she went after him.
Yeah,
right?
that happened. I might be confusing moments, and so if I am, forgive me. But the one thing that did frustrate me, and again, Wolverine's relatively new, haven't fleshed out his power set as we would know it today. But like when Nightcrawler was fighting Nightcrawler, no, I'm the real Nightcrawler. That's like that's less than a second for Wolverine to go, I know which one's real.
Yeah.
No, Mystique can mask that. Like she's
like with scent.
Yeah, she's really, really like. I mean, not only like when she can change form, like you could even Wolverine, like he probably could eventually figure it out. But they did something really clever there, where like, well, by clever, Wolverine was literally lit on fire, like so.
Yeah.
And to the point where even Wolverine was like, dude, this freaking hurts. So his senses weren't completely razor sharp like they normally were. So ordinarily, a completely healthy Wolverine would have probably been able to suss out who Mystique was and who Kurt was. But an injured one in the middle of a battle had a difficult time. That explanation, I completely bought.
I'll take the no prize on that one.
Yeah, I agree with what Delvin's saying there. That's how I took that sentence in it as well, is that he was so, worried about being on, from being on fire on that his senses weren't where they used to be yet at that time.
Auburn Elvis was funny in the chat, said Storm probably told Wolverine not to smell anybody too.
Yeah.
Also bad optics.
Back at HR.
Since you took one of my things I wanted to talk about, Jarrett, with I want to bring up another first thing is you have, well, it's not, I guess it's not a first thing, but they continue on that relationship between Kitty and Colossus.
There we go.
So Kitty and Colossus talking, that the relationship that they have. And I found that interesting that seed's there, the seed for Mystique, who I think, she's a really kind of a bad character in a way, I think she's a formidable foe for these X-Men and could be. I like her. I think she's very mysterious.
She's quite formidable. She knows how to survive. That is one of Mystique is very much like a mutant form of Black Widow. Like, you're never going to kill Black Widow. She's going to find some way to stick around and be in the fight somehow. And when you think you've killed her, she's only going into hiding, and you can find she's going to come back in an important way sometime in the future. That's always been Mystique's thing. Mystique is always in the picture somehow.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking to reading more with her in it. Just the opposite thing that she brings here as well. So, Jason, high, low, or what the?
I'll go with a high again. We talked a little bit about it in Colossus and how satisfying it was when he finally planted that one on Blob. But I think it's also fair to mention just how much punishment he'd been taking up to that point. And it really shows the heart that Colossus has to stay in that fight. And because he was getting hit not just by Blob, but the troops were out there hitting him with tank cannons and everything else. I mean, he was he was getting wrecked. And I just love that panel. There's that one panel with him walking with that that big eye beam, and it's just like, we're gonna get this done one way or the other, And that to me just sums up everything that's really great and noble about Colossus. He'll take that pounding. He'll still find a way to win. And we see, and even in the future battle, which I know Jared wasn't really enamored with, when he dies, like how he goes out. He's got the heart of a poet, but when that warrior spirit gets triggered, he is up there throwing hands with the best of them, and we got to really see that in this issue. I like that.
Yeah, I did too. You know, I like Colossus.
Colossus, yes, I like Colossus too. He's pretty big and strong.
That he is.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot in this issue to enjoy. I think, it's pretty wordy. Took me a little bit longer to read through than the Spider-Man one, but I was definitely in on this one, just poring over it and reading just all the different layering of characters and storyline that is happening here. And like Jason said, it's setting some stuff for things to come down the road. And I think, they still kind of pick at this one and just pull story ideas after story ideas out of this one. Does anybody have anything else for this issue that you want to talk about?
Art good.
Again, yeah, totally agree with this one.
Honestly, I think we could talk about this for another hour. I could.
I could too.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that I could pull from this book. So we've talked enough, but it kind of, there's a reason that this stuff is lore. That is comic book lore, and that's and it comes out in discussions such as these, where in the comments, people took exception to me having a different opinion about it. And I actually want to be flat out honest. I get it. Because it actually surprised me. I thought I was just going to open the book and automatically love everything about it. But in a sense that I didn't, still speaks to the lore of the book, because it was still something to talk about. I didn't throw the book aside. I was like, man, this book sucks. No, I didn't. What I did think was this battle present day was so urgent, was so good. I didn't need to necessarily know that the X-Men in the future died, because the battle present day was, man, I'll stop. It shows how good this book was. It definitely, really, really good.
To spur the conversation that it has, to make you think about, what you're thinking about. That's one of the things I really like doing in podcasting with you guys, is just the different takes on it. And the conversations that we can have, this is just great comic book shop talk going on here. We can talk forever on this, and hearing your side makes me think about, oh yeah, maybe I should look at it that way, and kind of understand where you're coming from too. Did you see something different that I saw? I love it. This is great, super talk, and I want to encourage more talk on this. And when this episode comes out, or in the comments on the YouTube channel, put them in there. Talk to us about it. We definitely really encourage hearing from not only the people in the panel here, but also everybody in comic book land, or people listening and following along with us. Let's hear what your thoughts are on it as well too. I think with that, let's go ahead and get into who went the extra mile for this issue. I have my thoughts, and I want to hear what you guys think. Who went the extra mile? We'll start with Jared.
Lots to choose from. Oh goodness. You know what? I don't know if you know this, but I taught leadership. Anyway.
Oh, did you?
I'm going to give it to Storm. What a crappy position to be put in for your first leadership day. And then you have to hamstring one of your most powerful allies. Oh, what a tough decision. Like I said, I wouldn't have made that decision, but hey, I might have been wrong. Good leaders make decisions. Okay. Period. A good decision today, better than a perfect one tomorrow, right? She made the best she could with what she had, so I will give her that. So, wow. And she won the day. Her team, under her leadership, won the day. So, as she likes to be known, Oreo Monroe.
Yep,
Oreo. You win the day.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. She's sweet, but man, she's kind of feisty on the outside. Delvin.
I think I'm going to go with Angel. I'm just kidding. It will never be.
It will never be Angel. We
ever
established that.
No,
never, ever, not ever. just wanted to take something Jared said before and continue that, and make that a bit of its own, because it's never going to be Angel, not ever. So since Jared already mentioned Storm, who was in one heck of a predicament, like, oh my God, I just like that. Like, it's the equivalent, Jared, Jason, and Pat. I think you'll understand it now. You're a second lieutenant, and you're put at the battlefield, like right up front. Is like, figure this out, Butterbar. Good luck. Like, what? That in this grand scheme of things, it wasn't fair. That was not fair. But because Aurora was awesome, she was able to figure it out. And I'm going to pick one of the soldiers in the battle. Actually, I'll go with that scene of Colossus / Wolverine. Or I'll give it to Colossus, because that was brilliant. He's like, okay, he keeps talking about, well, you can't move me from the ground. Like, I'm going to get him off the ground. And then once I get him off the ground, I'm going to smack the crap out of him. It's like, yay, heck yeah. That was great tactical thinking that Colossus executed. It was brilliant. And so I'll take the other side of the field, where Storm was doing her leadership thing, but Colossus was absolutely the ultimate soldier in the book.
Jason, who went the extra mile for you?
Well, as we're talking about this, I'm realizing just how many great moments each character had in the book. You can make an argument for several of them, with the exception of Angel, as we've already talked about. Yeah, I kind of wanted to go with Storm, with all the reasons we talked about. Plus, just I know how deep their friendship goes, Storm and Wolverine, and this is really kind of the start of that mutual respect and admiration they have for each other. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give it to Kate Pryde. Like, Kate risked it all to come back here in a desperate gamble. And Delvin, we said it in jest. You said it in jest, but it might have been really easy to listen to that hatred and that filth and know what all that's leading towards, and just really, maybe I'm not going to make that play as hard as you saw me try, right? You saw me all try. It's too bad I didn't make it. But she did it. She did it. And we still don't know. We don't know what the ultimate outcome is going to be. Is the future forever changed, or is it forestalled? Is it, how much is it changed? Is it changed for the better even? We just don't know. But she made a desperate play, and at the end of the day, she did it, and she's going back home to what she doesn't know. She doesn't even know if she's lost her husband. Or will her children be there when she gets back? She doesn't know. And to me, that earns her the extra mile, in my opinion.
Well said. Well said. I was going to choose Kate as well, too, as my extra mile. I think she stuck to the plan, knew that she had to stick to the plan to get it done, to save the ones she loved, not only in the future, but the ones that are around her there as well, too. So hats off to Kate on that one, but a lot of other good choices as well. With that, why don't we go ahead and get into the ratings for this issue? It is a 1 through 5 rating. 5 is you loved it. It gave you a ring to swing from. 4, you really liked it. 3, liked it. 2, didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It turned you into a baby. Delvin, 1 through 5 for this issue.
I think just based off of the discussion generated alone, the different layers that were exposed just in our conversation with all of the different characters, like that alone makes it a 5. I could, like, even if I were being my most critical and I was saying, like, yes, I thought they went a little bit too far with showing like what happened and having like some of these iconic characters die in the future with Wolverine and Colossus and Storm. Maybe not, but like the present day battle alone And like, and what it did do that, the future gave you the stakes of what was going on today. And my goodness, how many times have you made a decision, in your past and your not so distant past, and you wish that you kind of had a future you that could come and tell you like, hey, you need to do this thing, or hey, you need to do that thing. All the X-Men were very well aware of what the heck could happen if they failed in this mission. And so the stakes could not have been higher. So amazing book. Amazing. It's a 5.
Jared, where do you fall on this one?
Solid 3.
Oh man.
No, I was kind of floating. I gave the last one a 5. I was floating between 4 and 5. It was just as good as the last one. And yeah, like Tom said, I was thinking 4 or 5, 4 or 5. But once we got together and we saw how much conversation it generated, and there's so many different little things going on, yeah, I could give this a 5, certainly. And I will.
Jason, where are you?
Well, it is wordy. It's Claremont wordy. We know it. But he did tell a heck of a tale in 2 issues. And to me, that was worthy of a 5 or 6 to 9, 69. Oh. No, so 5 for me as well. I'll stop there.
Well, everybody, time to get up now, because everybody get up. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 5.
2, 3, 4.
5 will make you get down. Get down there. Oh, yeah, it's a 5. This one was great. Just the story building that was going on. Loved it. Kept turning the page, even though all those words, I kept turning the page to read more. Great. Lots of 5s in the chat as well. We got Michael, 5 for sure. Alvin Elvis, a 5. Aaron had a 6 or 9, kind of waffling in between there. Good to see you in the chat. A pretty well-loved issue. But with that, that's going to bring us to the end of this part of the show. You got a comment or a question? Go ahead and send us an email at contact@longboxcrusade.com, or make a comment on the Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook page. You can also leave us a voicemail that we just might play on the show. Leave a message at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
We will be right back. All right, let's move along here. Get this show on the road.
Yep. Agreed. I got it. I'll take segment 3. Y'all ready to start?
Do it.
3, 2, 1. Let's go. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the feedback part of the show, where we share your comments, emails, questions, and shares in a segment called Crusader Comments. We are thrilled to kick off these comments with special shout outs to our Crusader Club members. These are the fine folks that have joined our crusade. They enjoy special access to Longbox episodes, voting to help determine show content, and so much more. These are the folks reaping the benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show. We know I do it clockwise order. Go for it, Jared.
And Helica Wolf. Ow!
Auburn Elvis, thank you very much.
Blast it or stash it.
Braxton Underwood.
Captain Entropy.
Clinton Robeson.
Dave Collins, Battle Wagon.
Ezra Gallo.
Gary V.
Gene Hendricks.
Gerald Green.
Jason King.
Jason Lady.
Jeremy L.
Jim Jarman. I hope you like Jim Jarman too.
Jim Meal.
Joe Thomas.
John Watson.
Josh Strickland, Slacker.
Candace Ward.
Captivating Kathy 6.9 Bright, the MVP.
Nice.
Mark Ross.
Maxwell Traver.
Miranda W.
P.D. Devons.
Paul Hicks.
Rick from Jeff and Rick Present.
Rob Morgan.
Ryan Daly.
Samantha Maney.
Sean Urbanski.
Spidey 67.
Steve Cronin.
Spreadsheet. Oh, sorry. I skipped it. I'm so excited. Go ahead.
Spreadsheet.
Tim Price.
Tony Pennington.
And the Toronto Cop.
If we missed anyone on our list, we really apologize. Keep in mind, we record these episodes well in advance of release. So if you're a recent addition, we should be adding you soon. But no worries. Let us know we miss you by sending an email to longboxcrusade.com and we will get it straightened out. Excuse me, let me say it again. By sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com and we will get it straightened out. As a reminder, you can become a Crusaders Club member by heading over to patreon.com/longboxcrusade. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to the amazing world of the Crusaders Club. Come check it out. Don't have any extra scratch lying around, but you want to help us out anyway, please take a moment to write a review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else that you might stream this. If you want to just keep it short with just star ratings, it helps to profile the show, and we will share your review on the next show. For instance, we got a 5-star iTunes review, y'all, from Bucky749. And
Bucky!
With the title of Comics and Sherlock Holmes are a great combo. He says, these heroes gathered from wherever Crusaders come from provide great fun and insight to each show they do. It's like Christmas. Every episode is a great present of fun. Signed, yours truly, the American Samurai. He gave a plug, by the way. He said it was a cheap plug. It's not a cheap plug. You're nice to us. We are nice to you. He says he has a YouTube channel, Bucky749, where my bro Jeremy, sometimes called Kid Yokai or the New Mexico Kid, reviews movies, comics, and novels and whatever else we can think of. Have a great week. So if you have an opportunity, go over to Bucky749, the YouTube channel, and check out some of his stuff. Thanks for that, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Bucky.
Yes.
We will go to social media shares and retweets from Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles, episode 66, August 1980. We talked about Amazing Spidey 210 and Uncanny X-Men 139. Let's just go clockwise again, y'all.
Thanks for the shout-outs from Admiral Funnest Frontier.
Days of High Adventure Podcast.
Coffee and Comics.
Tim Price, the Pod Crasher.
Doc Strange.
And the Dame, Deborah Smith.
And we have a few social media comments as well. Pat, go ahead, start us off.
All right, I'll take one from Alburn Elvis, and he says, is this the episode where we discover the 4 of you are just paid actors posing as the real LBC crew?
LBC's crew's dead. They're locked in my basement.
Never know.
I'll take the next one from the Hammer Strikes and random geeky stuff. He said, yes, a face rip. Thank you, Auburn Elvis. And Jason, I think you're the one who told me what that meant.
Did I?
Phase rip. Fighting, agility,
strength, endurance, reason, intuition, and psyche. That's correct.
There we go.
I had a brain freeze for a moment.
Yeah, and every time you say psyche, I'm like, psyche doesn't start with a P.
Wait a minute, you're getting into Pat territory.
I know, man. I know. Jared, go for it.
All right, from Tim Pice, the Tim to Pipe. No need to edit that, Pat. John Romita Jr. is here. His art is fantastic. I love all his eras, and it's cool seeing the first Spider-Man issue. So the Bugle has JJ, and the Globe has KJ. Are all Marvel newspapers owned by someone with the initial J? We got our best Laurel looking into that for you.
Sounds like maybe a little nepotism to me. Well, I've got one here from Peter Pelletier, and he says that Madam Web issue will be going up in value once the movie comes out. All right, time will tell.
Definitely. I think he's talking about the animated one, I believe. Possibly. I will take our last comment here. This is from Spotify. If you're listening to us on Spotify, go ahead and send us some feedback there as well, just like Scotty Cameron did, as he responded back to the question of what did you think of this episode? And he said, loved the discussion and jokes about the Wakanda Forever coincidence. Very fun. Delvin did a great job of that synopsis.
Feels good to be seen sometimes, you know. Jared, come talk about how brilliant I am real quick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You are super, Delvin.
Sweet. I love those glowing comments. You can leave me a glowing comment, by the way, on the voicemail. Me and only me, not those other three jamokes. And we might just play it on the show. Leave us a message at 707-532-5269. That is 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
I just left one, by the way, for Action Film Face Off, Jared.
I listened to it, and we will not play it at all.
Sweet. Thank you to everyone for the likes, shares, follows, and comments. We appreciate your friendship and your help in spreading the word about this podcast.
And that's the show. Be sure to check out the website, longboxcrusade.com, where posts will be made for journaling this crusade. I want to thank Jared, Jason, and Delvin for joining me on this episode. And all you in the chat, thank you so much for being here with us and commenting. But before we go, let's find out where the listeners can find us on the internet. Delvin.
You can find me on Twitter, DEE_RAY1977. Jason.
Still taking a break from social media, but you can reach out to me on the good old email at RAAP as in Papa, HO@yahoo.com. Jared.
I am at Yard Sale Artist, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all at Yard Sale Artist. You can check out my wares at www.theyardsaleartist.com. DJ Cristados.
Well, Jared, I'm glad you asked. You can find me on the Twitter at Christatos01. And if you want to interact with us via live chat and be entered in to win some free stuff on our live raffles, join us on our next episode of Doing It live stream on YouTube, just like the people that are in the chat right now. It's the second Sunday of every month, 3:30 p.m. Central Time is when we go live. Just go and check out the Longbox Crusade on YouTube, and please subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you will get notifications of when we go live or when we have something new released on the YouTube channel. Thank you for listening, and we hope you have enjoyed this episode of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles. You got a comment or a question? Email us at contact@longboxcrusade.com or leave a comment on the Longbox Crusade Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter page, all at Longbox Crusade. Until next time, take care, and please join us on the next episode as we continue on the crusade to
read them all.
Woo, we did it. Let's get to the list and get people to the Super Bowl.
My goodness, I almost forgot about the list.
Prizes out, get people to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay. So for the people that were on the
Chitty Chat
live stream, we don't have Courtney today. She's probably footballing it up.
I'll just pick a number just to save time. How about that?
All right, pick a number to save time. So first up, we're going to do a little comics and a little James Bond combo for people in the chat. We're going to give away a copy of GoldenEye, one of the top tier games on here, and a copy of this interesting comic DVD of Scion. If you guys remember that, I think we covered some of those books on Crusademas. This was from CrossGen back in the day.
We covered some CrossGen, yes.
Yeah, so we're going to do a little James Bond for people in the chat. Did you want me to just pick a number, Dill? Put your pencil somewhere and tell me how many there were.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people commented whom I had.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
Auburn Elvis picked 3.5. I'm going to round that up to 4. So wherever your pencil's at, move it 4 spaces.
1, 2, 3, 4. Congratulations to Tony Pennington.
Tony.
Do it again.
Oh, especially with Golden.
Yeah, with GoldenEye. He does not deserve it.
What a coincidence. Oh, my goodness.
I like GoldenEye.
Courtney just popped up. Hi, Courtney.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Courtney.
You call her name and she appears just like that.
Her name is Chip Pierce. Good. That, if I'd planned ahead, I would have already pulled our Patreon list up. I'm almost positive it's 37 patrons right now.
You can just go up in the script.
Yeah, it's on the script right up here.
Just go up in the script.
Unless someone joined while we were talking.
Somebody could have.
Oh, did anybody join while we were talking?
According to my no. All right. So we'll reverse this then. Well, I guess Courtney's here. So Courtney, if you can hear me, pick a number between 1 and 37. And while we're waiting on that, Delvin and I do a live stream the second Tuesday of every month. We've got one coming out this week about New Warriors. And I happen to have some doubles, so I figured I'd give those away to Crusaders Club members. One of the benefits of being a member is that you don't have to be here to win. If you're not a member, it's on the screen at the bottom right now. So anyway, I'm going to give away 3 issues of New Warriors.
Sweet.
That has some doubles of. It's going to be 21, 23, and 24. Those are the most recent ones Delvin and I have been talking about. Had some doubles. Thought, hey, Crusaders Club members might like that. So,
Courtney says 8.
8. All right. Well, let me just close my eyes and put the cursor somewhere, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Battle Wagon.
Battle Wagon.
Nice.
Battle Wagon. Battle Wagon won like 1 or 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
He's on a roll. All right, so New Warriors comics
on
Battle
a roll.
Wagon. And DVDs for Tony. And
Cool.
thank you guys for being Crusaders Club members. Thank you for those who showed up in the chat. We always like to do a little raffle to say thanks. And hopefully we'll next time, the person that really wanted to win that didn't today, maybe you'll win next time.
Yeah, definitely. There's always, you got 12 chances every year.
Mm-hmm.
Got 12 chances. We really do appreciate everybody that has been with us and watching us today. I think it's been quite a big amount of people, so we do appreciate it. So thank you all for watching and sticking it through with us during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Best pregame show ever, right?
When does the kickoff?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll
when
rewind
it
in and
starts.
watch it.
When does it start?
It's already
I
started.
think it's already on. Yeah.
Oh,
So
let's go Super Bowl.
All right. All right. Well, again, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next time. Everybody have fun, be safe, and read those books.
Yeah, Delvin and I will be back here on Tuesday. If you guys want to stop by and say hey about some New Warriors.
You guys doing it Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have anything to do on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know if you guys laid plans or not.
We're married.
You're married to the comments and the people in the chat, so that's how much they love you. That's how much we're going extra long on the Super Bowl. You're going to go extra long on.
We're going to give you Valentine's Day chat, and so we will. Delvin and I will be your Valentine people in the
That's
chat.
right.
All right. All right. With that, we're going to hang it up here. Thank you all again for watching us, and we will see you next time. Everybody wave and say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.